Good morning. It is such a great day to have synchronicity. I am so excited. I have been waiting for our next guest. We have Josh, an astrologer from Joshology. How are you this morning?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm so glad that everything aligned, that you were able to make it to meet with us today and to share your tips and all your tea on what is going on in the universe. So
Yes.
let's jump in, Josh. Tell us about yourself.
Well, my name is Josh, also known as J Life 20. I am an astrologer, a tarot reader, a spiritualist, somebody that is here just to keep in alignment with my purpose, but also make sure I help others, pave that way for themselves as well. I am just here to help inspire, be creative, teach, and grow. That is it.
That is it. That's all it needs to be, right?
Exactly.
So tell us a little bit. How did you get into astrology?
So astrology happened for me in 2020 during quarantine. Okay, I think that was a major turning point in my life for a lot of people actually. And I discovered astrology with a celebrity also known as Novi Brown. She is part of the show called Sisters on BET. And she is an astrologer. So randomly one day I was bored during quarantine. I seen that she went live because of course I watch her from the show, and she was talking about astrology, and I did not know what astrology was. I've always been into like signs, but I never knew what astrology was. It's different. It's a difference between saying I'm a Pisces, I'm a Sag, I'm a Cancer, versus you tapping into astrology, because that is a whole different world than zodiac signs. So, once I discovered what astrology was and how everybody in this world has a specific birth chart, that's when I started learning, teaching. And yeah, one day Novi said, I can't always be here for you all. So y'all are gonna have to learn on your own. And I taught myself, and then I created my own business.
Look at that. I think that the quarantine was a shift for so many people, right?
Yeah.
I think that it was a time where the universe was saying everybody needs to be still, right, and kind of figure some things out, because so many different modalities, so many different things were just birthed during that time that we were forced to be still. So that's amazing. I love your backdrop, your backdrop story. That's really, really good. So let us know, what are some key components that we should know about the planets and how they could affect our feelings, thoughts, emotions, and mood, especially after coming off of this Mercury retrograde that was, who child, it was
A lot.
emotional. It was a lot. I thought I was getting out the retrograde unscathed. And let me tell you, January 9th and 10th, it was like an avalanche. So tell us some key components that we should know about the planets and how they can affect us.
So the planets affect everyone because everybody has all the planets in their chart. The main you have your personal planets, which are the sun and the moon. Even though the sun and the moon are not considered planets, they're considered luminaries. But still, you have the sun, moon. You have Mercury, Venus, Mars. Of course, your rising sign. Those are like known as your big six. So those are like your personal planets, and then you have your outer planets such as Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. But the planets really affect people in many different ways based on your birth chart. Mercury retrograde tends to go retrograde about 3 to 4 times a year. So that is one planet that is always known for going retrograde because it goes retrograde so much. Of course, Mercury represents how we communicate, how we, transportation. It represents documents, online type of stuff. So whenever there is Mercury retrograde going on, you can definitely expect some issues within those areas, whether it's a flight, whether it's something that's not working out. I mean, we just saw what happened with Southwest and how all the flights got delayed. That's Mercury retrograde for you, so the planets really affect you really based on what sign you have it in. So for instance, this Mercury retrograde was in Capricorn. Now, in astrology, everybody has 12 houses. So you really want to look at what house you have Capricorn in, because the houses are really important because it shows the area in life that is going to affect you. So, for instance, this Mercury retrograde was in Capricorn. I have Capricorn in my fourth house. The fourth house represents home and family. I went on a family vacation around that time. I redecorated my house. So that's just how the planets can really affect you. You have to understand what sign it's in. You have to understand what the planet means, and then also where it falls at for you in your houses, because that's where you're going to see a lot of growth and change, especially whenever and a lot of people get retrograde confused. Whenever a planet is in retrograde, that basically is the planet slowing down so you can reflect and review.
Yes.
So basically, yeah, Mars represents our aggression, our sex drive. Your moon is your emotions. Venus represents how we like to make money, but also what we need in love and relationships and friendships. And yeah, your rising sign basically just represents how you come off as an individual and how people view you. So yeah.
Good stuff. Really good breakdown. So in order to prepare for the next retrograde, we need to see where that planet falls in our house. And that way we can see how we need to prepare, or what it could be affected by that, or what we need to reflect on once that next retrograde comes up. Okay, really good stuff. Thank you for that. So tell us a little bit, Josh, tell us about the big three. Why is that important? Which part of that really explains our personality?
So your big three is made up of your sun, moon, and rising. Your sun sign is the sign that you know yourself as being born as, whatever day that is. Your sun represents your ego, how you present yourself to the world. Your sun sign basically is just how you choose the shield you put on when you go out and how people view you. Your moon sign is how you express your emotions, your habits, your instincts. When you are happy, high, drunk, sad, horny, all types of stuff. That's your moon sign coming out. And, to me, the moon sign is the most important because we are all emotional beings. So we're going to always express emotionally in some form or fashion based on the situation or the person. And then your rising sign is the sign that you are rising to be in this lifetime. So your rising sign is, how I like to explain it, you're walking up to somebody's house, you have a screen door, the door behind it, and the inside of the house. The screen door is your rising sign. So when people first meet you, they're not meeting your Virgo sun. They're meeting this Capricorn rising, because this is how you come off to people. So people may see you come off as very stern and very bossy, but when they really get to know you and you shield back that layer, that's when they see your sun sign, which is that Virgo sun. So now they can definitely see you as probably more goofy and wild. And then the inside of the house, to me, like I said, the moon sign is the most important, is your moon sign, because it takes up, your moon sign could definitely represent different areas and different emotions for you. So the moon sign definitely takes up most of the house, but your rising sign basically also represents your physical features. It represents the energy that you're rising to be. So, with your big three, you don't always have to relate to your sun sign. Some people relate more to their moon sign. Some people relate more to their rising sign. It's all about what energy you feel like resonates more for you.
Okay, really good. So let me make sure I understand. So your sun sign is what you were born under. So that's where everybody kind of like say, hey, I'm Shakira and I'm a Capricorn. So that's like your sun sign. Okay. Your rising sign is like your representative. That is who people meet when they meet you.
Absolutely. Okay. Love that.
And then your moon sign, right? Is that the next one? That's your emotions.
Your inner deepest, your shadow self in a way. Yeah. And not everybody gets to see your moon sign unless you are really close or trust that individual. But your moon sign is definitely your deepest, darkest areas where you tend to, who you choose to want to show it to, who you tend to want to open up to. A Scorpio moon is not going to be as open as a Cancer moon or an Aries moon, because Scorpio is like very dark and intense. So they're all about trust and loyalty. Whereas an Aries moon, they could be more fiery and just more out there and blunt with their emotions. So, it's all of your moon sign definitely represents, how an individual really feels or what they need emotionally so they can feel safe and understood.
I'm an Aries moon and I can't stop crying. All I do is cry, right?
Right. So Aries moons are fun. I like Aries moons. They're bold, fierce, confident, creative. I would be scared to get in a relationship with an Aries moon. I don't know why. Well, I know why, because I have a Sagittarius moon. So I feel like two fire moons it can work, but I feel like sometimes it can probably get too fiery.
Too
But
fiery, too
yeah,
hot up here. Okay. So in order for an individual to know what their sun, moon, and rising is, what information would you have to know about them in order to give them an accurate depiction?
so you really need your birth time. Your birth time really makes up, your birth time really shows the accuracy in your chart. Now, if you want to just look at your planets without your birth time, that's perfectly fine. You could just put 12 o'clock in the afternoon, 12 p.m., and it will show you your planets, and it will also show you your moon sign. But the things that will be off is your degrees and your houses and even some of your aspects. So, your birth time really makes up everything in your chart. So if you don't have it, you are only able to see your planets.
Okay.
As I like to explain the planets and many other astrologers, the planets represent the actors and the sign that is in is the characters. So you need your birth time. That really makes it up. Now there is a way that you can find your birth time if you don't have it, by ordering your birth certificate, or hiring somebody to help you find your birth time, in which I cannot think of the name, but it's a specific name that's where you can hire somebody
Okay.
to help find your birth time for you. Yes.
Okay. It'll come back to you, and then you'll be like, I got it, and then we'll make sure we put that information in here. And so I'm glad we're on birth charts, because that kind of flows into my next question for you. What exactly is a birth chart, and what does it say about a person and their emotional self, their romantic life? Like, explain what a birth chart is, and with that, why is the time of birth so important? Is it because the planets are consistently moving? Like, what part? Why does that play such a key part?
Yes, your birth time basically is everything of how you are made up as an individual. So this is why some people don't feel safe giving their birth time information to people, because you can really see a person's deepest, darkest insecurities and secrets and how they move as an individual. Okay. So your birth chart basically is, everybody in this world have a specific birth chart. Even if you're born a twin, your birth chart is different in some type of way. So nobody's birth chart is the same. And your birth chart just represents how you are made up as an individual. For instance, your moon sign, this person is going to express themselves with a water moon more emotionally than a fire moon, where a fire moon may express themselves more creatively and out loud and fashionable. A Mercury represents how a person communicates. So if you're talking to a Mercury and Capricorn person, this person may talk more slow and more, professional. Versus Cancer Mercury, they're going to talk more with emotions and more security, to where they're going to be really protective of what they say. It just basically represents how your birth chart shows you also how you was raised, how you may view your mother, because in astrology, the moon sign represents your mother, and the sun sign. The father one is always kind of iffy. People have different versions. Some people say the sun sign represents your father. Some people say Saturn represents your father. And whatever house you have your moon in is how you view your mother, and certain qualities that you see that your mother have. And same thing for your sun sign, and whatever house it falls in. Now, you need to really know your specific birth time, because yes, like you said, the planets are always currently moving. So I can't put 12 p.m. and say that you were born at 12 p.m. when that's not accurate, when really you were born at 5 o'clock in the morning. Because I put 12 p.m., it's gonna say you're a Virgo rising, but really at 5 in the a.m., you was really a Cancer rising. So I could be giving you inaccurate information about yourself. You'd be like, I don't resonate with that, and that's because it's inaccurate. So the planets are always moving. Like I said, Mercury is one of the fastest moving planets, so it's always moving into new signs. The moon sign is always changing signs every 2.5 days. The sun sign, of course, changes into a new sign every 30 days. So, the accuracy of your birth time is really, really important when it pertains to everything. There's also a chart called astrocartography, where it shows you where it's best for you to live in the world. So, your birth time really helps you with everything when it pertains to yourself, how you was raised, what you need to heal from, what you need to release, where you should live, and all different types of the birth charts.
Good stuff. I'm so in love with this. This is so interesting and really can dig deep on
Yeah.
who a person is and what's going on around them and in their life. So if a client is watching this and they're like, yes, I need more of this in my life, what could they expect when working with you?
Working with me, of course, I have my own website called vibewithjosh.com, and I offer all types of services as far as tarot and birth chart. And really with my services, I try to really dive deep into your planets and your houses, especially your houses, because like I said, everybody has all 12 of your houses matter. It does not matter if you have planets in the house or not. All 12 of your houses matter, and you do have all 12 houses. You just really you have to make sure that you're using the right astrology systems. There is a popular app called CoStar that a lot of people like to use, but CoStar doesn't show you everything in your birth chart, which makes people feel like they don't have all 12 houses. They're only going to show you the houses that you have planets in. But I really like to make sure I dive deep with my clients of letting them know that this is where you can feel your best at based on where your moon sign is. I have my moon sign in the third house. So connecting with friends or going on vacations or just communicating can be something that can help me, whether it's journaling, whether it's writing a poem or singing, stuff like that. I really just try to make sure that they understand themselves as individuals, the energy that they should tap into, and the energy that they also need to work with, which deals with more aspects. Everybody has specific aspects in their chart. And usually when a person has squares or oppositions, these are energies that you need to really work with because you're going to have a lot of chaotic energy here. So yes, I try to just make sure I point out all the specific important things for them to know so they can continue to keep understanding themselves as they grow on.
Okay, good. So why should a person consult an astrologer? Right? What do you think about that?
Consult an astrologer if you want to consult an astrologer. A lot of people, Lord, before I even jumped on this call right here, I was watching a video with one of my favorite podcasters. And the podcaster is she's not into astrology. So she thinks of it as voodoo. She thinks of it as some type of witchy stuff, and it's not. So if you want to consult an astrologer, really consult an astrologer with the mindset of being open-minded and understanding and willing to learn. It's not something to where somebody can put voodoo on you or it's witchy. All astrologer is doing is basically showing you how these specific signs, degrees, and aspects are going to affect you when it pertains to your everyday life. So they're just trying to show you, hey, this is where you may fall short at. This is where you're going to gain a lot of growth in. And basically, when you consult an astrologer, you are just basically needing to understand that you're going to be told certain things that you're not going to want to hear. You're going to be told certain things that's going to sound really good. And you're going to be told certain things that you're going to need to really work on, especially in this lifetime as you continue to grow. So it's just really just working with the energies that understanding the planets. Once you understand the planets and you understand the zodiac signs and the qualities of each zodiac signs, you really much can really understand a birth chart. You just have to really understand that, okay, Pisces represent illusions and creativity, but also dreaminess and also drugs. So somebody that may have a Pisces moon may tend to want to go to drugs to cope with their emotions, or they may tend to want to create or paint or dance to deal with their emotions. So once you really understand first the planets and then the zodiac signs, some people will say the zodiac signs first and then the planets, either one, you really are taking the necessary major steps forward to understand the birth chart. So yeah.
Good stuff. So talk to me a little bit, or talk to us a little bit about, so you're taking in all this energy from different individuals and communicating a lot of different information, good, bad, or indifferent. What do? What type of stress reduction techniques do you utilize to keep yourself grounded?
Smoking. I like to smoke. My blunt. Reading a birth chart can really be a lot of energy. This is why I closed my birth chart readings for the past 8-9 months. I closed them because people don't understand that it's a lot to read a birth chart. So as I always tell people, like, it's best to learn on your own, take certain key pieces that you see from astrologists and apply it and learn it on your own. But I feel like a lot of my energy drained when I do tarot readings a lot, because that's definitely me having to pull cards and stuff. So certain things I like to do is just really making sure that, one, I only do about 4 to 5 tarot readings a day. That's one. I like to go to the gym, even after this call, I'm about to go to the gym. I like to smoke at night. I'm a nighttime smoker. I like to get all my work done in the day. So at nighttime, I can just be with myself. I can play my video games. I can smoke. I can talk to my boyfriend. So I just really try to make sure I create a healthy routine for myself. This is my work time. After my work time is over, I get to go eat. I get to go rest. I get to go play. And vacationing. I love vacationing. Ever since 2020 happened, of course, I quit my job and I started doing this full time. It allowed me to really gain financial stability, but it's also still growing. But I like vacationing. I'm a Sagittarius moon. So Sagittarius is all about expansion and traveling. So really going on vacations can really help me gain that peace and also stepping into my creativity.
Yeah.
When I'm high, I tend to step more into my creativity and make TikToks and stuff. So,
Go into that other dimension. So what I'm hearing is balance, right? Just making sure you get that healthy balance, right? You pour into other people all day, and making sure that at the end, at night, it sounds like you pour back into yourself.
Pour back into me. Yep.
That balance. I love it. What else, Josh? What else would you like to tell us? What else would you like to share with us? Now is the opportunity to make sure we have it all.
I just want to share that, look, everybody in this lifetime have a purpose. Okay. Mm-hmm. It takes a minute for you to find your purpose. But of course, once you start tapping more into astrology and wanting to understand yourself, some of the main things that you can really dive into that can help you find yourself as an individual is where your moon sign is located, your north node, where your sun is located in your houses. Astrology, like I said, it's not a religion. It's definitely a practice, but it's not a religion. It's not something that you have to believe in. Like I said, this is energy that's going to play out regardless if you believe in it or not. So it's better to just really understand yourself and what's to come. And I say what's to come because even though you are born with specific planets and specific houses, we are always evolving and your signs are always changing, which you can look into called transits. There's a transit chart. So, like for instance, Jupiter represents good luck and good fortune. The second house represents finances and money. So if you have Jupiter transit in your second house, that would be a perfect time to go play lotto. You know what I'm saying? That's how you can work with the energy. If you have Jupiter in the fourth house of the home and family, a perfect time for you to move or go on a vacation somewhere far away. So you are always evolving. You are always growing. Just because you may have been born a Pisces moon, Aries moon, Sagittarius moon, that does not mean you're going to always be that energy your whole life. You're going to always progress into the next sign as you get older. So really just looking up your progression chart, your transit chart, looking up your natal chart, really just diving into understanding you and investing in you can really be something that can really help you grow as an individual. So always make sure that you invest in you. No matter how you want to invest in you, just invest.
Yes, I love it. Great information. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing the golden nuggets that you shared with us, all the tips and all the tea on Joshology. I'll make sure that all of your information is pinned underneath your video. So anyone who is interested in taking a deep dive into tarot, into possibly birth charting, or just talking further and getting more information for you, we're going to have all of that available. My goal for you, my wish for you is to continue to be brave, be magical, and above all else, do well. I'll talk to you soon, Josh. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.